Hey everybody, this is Perch, and we've got a handful of Marvel series. Now we're going to get the Marvel solicitations probably here in a day or two, but let's talk about all the new series because I haven't done this in a while. So there's a bunch of new series and new things out and coming. So let's talk about what those are. So first off, we're getting a Wolverine Nick Fury team up. It's really Wolverine as a series, and this is the Logan version of Wolverine, if you're being cheeky. But this is written by Larry Hama, and it's a story of Wolverine as Patch. So this was during the brief time when Logan was hanging around Madripoor, and he put on an eye patch, but kept the same ultra distinctive hairstyle and claws and everything else. That was what deep cover meant in the late 80s, early 90s. But anyway, this is a 5-issue series set in the 90s, and again, it's Larry Hama, and he had an 8-year run on the Wolverine title, so of course he's very familiar with everything. Interior artist Andrea DeVito, cover artist Jeff Shaw. Cover looks very nice, of course, and Andrea is not a bad artist by any stretch of imagination, but there is I would say, a pretty big jump between those two art styles, which just feels like they're saying, hey, people, why don't you buy this comic and get pissed about it? I really wish, if you're going to do a different cover artist and interior artist, you'd make a attempt to try and make those look vaguely the same. I think would be a good idea. Anyway, 5 issues coming in March, I believe, from Larry Hama. So, if you've been wanting to learn more about the Patch era, you certainly have that going for you. The next, Marvel has announced their next Voices comic anthology, although this is not Voices, or maybe it's Voices, it's Women of Marvel. So they've done a Women of Marvel before, but this is a Women of Marvel #1. They had a Women of Marvel #1 already, but this is the 2022 version, I guess. Why not? What are you doing? In their press release, Marvel's notes that there was a Women of Marvel #1 in 2021, and this will be a Women of Marvel #1 in 2022. I don't know. I granted, maybe nobody cares. That's perfectly fine. Anyway, this will go on sale sometime in March after Women's Day. Women's Day is on March 8th. This will not ship on March 8th, but they'll ship somewhere around there. And the comic is promising a number of things. The cover is featuring Storm, Jubilee, America Chavez, and Black Cat. America Chavez, of course, will be in Doctor Strange 2. Storm is currently Queen of Mars. Jubilee is not a vampire, and Black Cat's bisexual. I think that's what we got. But the comic will probably feature more stories than this, because these anthologies always have more, but maybe not this time because it's a Women of Marvel book and not a Voices book. Why are you making this so hard, Marvel? Anyway, this will feature, are you ready for it? A dark Jessica Jones, written by Jordi Belair and drawn by Zoe Thorogood, which will be about compulsion and redemption. I think the darkest Jessica Jones story was when she was in her solo title, written by Bendis, and in that title they basically revealed that she had anal with Luke Cage. Do you remember that? I'm not making this up, by the way. That was part of the plot. Anyway, Ashana the She-Devil Silver Sable team-up story by video game scriptwriter Rihanna Pratchett, which will pit Shanna and Silver Sable against wild animal poachers. I seem to recall Silver Sable used to wear fur back in the day as well, but maybe it was a faux fur. I don't know. As long as it's not real fur, that's cool.
I'd buy you a fur coat, but not a real fur coat, that's true.
Squirrel Girl Black Widow team up by writer Charlie Jane Anders. No artist written. They'll explore the complexity of superhero identities, in this case Black Widow and Squirrel Girl. Checks out. A Black Cat story by Preeti Cheeber, and art by Jen Bartel and Marguerite Sauvage about the greatest failures and triumphs of Felicia Hardy, Black Cat. And the special will also feature Mirka Andolfo doing a writer-artist combo. I mean, she's a combo all in one package. Mirka's awesome, actually, but Mirka is going to be doing something in the book. We don't know what. They're not revealing which women will be tackled there. But she is also doing, it says the cover, but that's, I don't think that's the cover that we got, but maybe it is. I don't know. Don't think so. I think I saw Merca doing some of that work at Emerald City, actually, come to think of it. Next, because we've got still more. We already talked about Punisher. That's a whole separate video. They're doing that. We've continued to hear more news about what's coming up in the X-Men, and we have the Immortal X-Men, which will be by Kieran Gillen. And that one is promoting a Game of Thrones-like story. I made jokes about how Kieran Gillen went to Game of Thrones way too often when he was writing Marvel. He did the Shield, the Wall story in Secret Wars, and it was all like they were bending the knee and they were defending the wall, and it was like total all in Game of Thrones. So in the hype of this new series, Immortal X-Men, they say it will be like Game of Thrones. And I'm like, what are you, what are you doing? Anyway, he's thrown in, at least this time, in addition to Game of Thrones, he'll also be like West Wing, House of Cards, and in Veep. So you got that going for you. But anyway, we're learning a little bit more about this. The Wolverine book coming out of this will feature Deadpool. We have a X-Force annual coming out by Nadia, which is, in theory, supposed to talk about X-Force fighting Orcus, but maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows? And X-Men Red has been revealed, as everyone expected, or at least predicted, that it will be a follow-up to S.H.I.E.L.D., really dealing with the mutants on Mars. Thus, the X-Men Red will be that. I don't know that we've gotten the formal writer, but all signs point to Al Ewing. If that hasn't actually formally come out yet, Al Ewing looks like what that looks like. Then we've got a big crossover coming up, Avengers versus Eternals. So Avengers versus Eternals, which Marvel is saying is going to be its key 2022 event. Now, note, Marvel also hyped a little bit ago Avengers versus X-Men, but maybe that's 2023, or maybe we will have multiple key 2022 events. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, this is intending to be the summer event. This is in Eternals number 10, Kieran Gillen, in March number 9th, says this will lead into the biggest Marvel Comics storyline of 2022. If you've been reading along in Eternals, he's been teasing this idea that the Eternals are going to go up against the Avengers, mainly because the Avengers basically set up house in the corpse of dead Celestial. Well, I guess what else would be the corpse? But anyway, they're hanging out at their headquarters in a dead Celestial, and this would be a little bit like if some Mormons made a giant corpse of Jesus, and then that was their home that they hung out with. And the Christians would be mad. That's all I'm saying. That makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, we are getting a big hero versus hero, Avengers versus Eternals battle. At some point, they say this is going to be the big thing. Anyway, the Marvel did announce in the May 2022 Free Comic Book Day, they will have Avengers X-Men one-shot that, according to Marvel, said this will drastically alter the relationship between mutant kind and Earth's mightiest heroes. So maybe we're getting X-Men versus Avengers versus Eternals. Maybe they're all in on it. Who knows? Contest of Champions, anyone? How about we get that? Anyway, the last bit of news coming up is that SpiderMan is the Beyond era, which started in October. This is Ben Reilly basically donning the costume and working for the Beyond Corporation. This era is ending in 2022, and they're kind of hinting that this the Beyond board, which were a number of writers. We had Kelly Thompson in there. We had Saladin Ahmed. We had who else did we have? Zeb Wells, Cody Ziegler. And I thought there was a fifth one in there. But anyway, the Beyond era is ending in March. And the expectation is they will be relaunching Spider-Man with a brand new #1 and a hot creator in April or May. So we're getting a brand new Spider-Man coming out. Who will it be? Marvel started doing, somebody mentioned it in a DM to me, and then I was talking to some people at Marvel, and they're at least going to lay some hints that it's Jonathan Hickman. I don't buy it, but who knows? I have a hard time I have a hard time buying Hickman as the new writer of Spider-Man. But that's just me. That feels like a weird fit. At any rate, sounds like they are going to tease that a little bit, at least to maybe throw people off the scent, and then reveal that it's actually I don't know. It's got to be VIL, right? That's who it's got to be. Anyway, that's some Marvel news. Let me know what you're buying out of those. We got a little bit of everything there. Or is the answer none? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for listening.